It's not the leaner, the better. The more muscle, the leaner, the better for everyone. Jeff Cavalier stated so, but I don't believe this to be the case. How many of you looking at this girl think she would look better if she got leaner? Coach Greg, in today's video, more body fat assessments. People have been very accurate. I think more people are watching Coach Greg. In the past, people way off. Oh, I'm 20%. No, you're 40%. Now, pretty accurate. Will the trend continue? And first up is newsletter subscriber Kathy Zhu. She's only 20 years of age, has been training 3 years natural, would like to compete one day, and look at her physique. No wonder she wants to compete. She estimates 19% body fat. Going to go over the poses, see how does she look, how is she going to do. And first up, the front double bicep. Look at the abdominal development on this woman. All you see is popping out abs six-pack. Clearly very lean. Next thing I see, biceps. Wow, great bicep development. Problem is, posing like this. Need to work on the poses. Get those arms up. Higher than last time. Biceps higher than the delts. That would give you the illusion of the smaller waist. We want to see a V taper. We want to see the cap delts coming into a small waist. In comparison, quads not quite as developed as the upper body. Not as lean, carries more body fat in the lower body than the upper body. And this is very normal. Women in particular have more of a pear shape. They tend to store body fat in the lower body. She doesn't have much body. Good job, girls, get in. She jumped all by herself. Oftentimes I have to pick her up. And so she doesn't have much body fat anywhere, but the body fat that she does have seems to gravitate towards her lower half. And standing relaxed from the rear, all I can see is the definition in her back. When I see girls walking around, just standing there relaxed, and you can see bumps and crevices, striations we'll call them, in the back like this, that is very lean. In comparison, I don't see popping hamstrings, calf striations, and so on. It's very typical of a woman who's very lean. Women who are lean tend to have very lean backs, oftentimes leaner than mine, but not as lean in the lower body. She does appear to have a small waist, but I'm having a difficult time judging the extent of her glute development. In bikini, it's all about the glutes, and unfortunately, the glute stores a lot of body fat, and so when you get lean to this extent, your glutes are inevitably going to get smaller. If she increased her body fat to perhaps 25%, I'm sure the glutes would get significantly larger. And next up, a back double bicep pose done 100% wrong. But despite posing inaccurately, you can still clearly see a lot of back development. The elbows are far too low, and so we can't see the extent of her back development. However, you can clearly see the girl very lean. And in the legs, you can see her left foot placed to the side. She does appear to have some quad development even from the side. So she does have significant muscle development in the lower half. I don't see any cellulite, I don't see excess body fat in the lower legs, and so I would say her body fat close to about 20%. She predicted 19, pretty much bang on. And standing from the front, this is probably her most impressive pose. She's just standing there, arms really well developed. She has delts, and the quads actually look very well developed in this pose. She's not posing them, but you can see quads almost hanging past the kneecap. The lower part of the legs, a lot of muscle development. And so if she spent 20 minutes practicing posing with someone who could show her how to pose properly, would make a night and day difference in her demonstration of her physique. And in my advice, I wouldn't get any leaner than this in your off season. If you were to drop more body fat, you might not have the energy to train as hard as you need. There's such a thing as being too lean in the off season, and I don't believe getting any leaner would have her looking any better. In fact, many people would say she probably looked better with more body fat. And so it's not the leaner, the better. The more muscle, the leaner, the better for everyone. Jeff Cavalier stated so, but I don't believe this to be the case. How many of you looking at this girl think she would look better if she got leaner? I don't think so. For a competition, certainly they want you to get leaner, but that is an extreme sport. When you're standing on stage, they want you to be shredded. They don't want you to be healthy. They want you to be peeled to the bone, looking ripped. But for general health purposes, you do not need to be nearly this lean to be healthy. Next up, Hamish Willie. He's 28 years old, stands about 6 feet tall, and used to weigh 265 pounds. Was about 40+% body fat, but no more. He's lost a weight, watch Coach Greg videos. He's now 194 pounds, lost about 70 pounds of body fat. He now predicts himself to be 15% body fat, and we're going to go through his poses. And first up, standing relaxed without flexing, you can see he has quite a bit of muscle. You can see slight outline of the abs, has great arm development, and the quads, the one I'm seeing on that side, appears a bit larger than the other quad. He appears to be natural from my perspective and seems to be slightly getting a sunburn on the arms, perhaps needs to wear more sunscreen than last time. And standing relaxed from the rear, no excess body fat, nothing hanging over, appears to have a small waist, looks like a guy that if he went on a diet, really cut up for competition, would have a very tiny waist, which is ideal for men's physique. Up next, the back double bicep, you can see visible hamstring muscle and definition. He has great calves, arguably his best body part, and the muscle in the upper back appears to be more developed than the lower. And as you can see, has a very long torso. This makes it more difficult to pack on the muscle required to compete in men's bodybuilding competition. You see the lats in the back double bicep way high up on the back, over halfway. Some bodybuilders have better genetics than others, and that insertion comes a lot lower. And so if he were to step on stage, he would have what we call high lats. Not as great as a bodybuilder from the back. However, he has really good back muscle definition overall, in particular, the rear delt. Look at the muscle in the arm and delt in comparison to the back. You can see clearly work in the delts, trying to get those wide shoulders, and has very impressive biceps. And up next, the front double bicep, he appears to be leaning back, doing the rockaway. He's probably trying to lean back more so that the light can shine on his body so that you can see more of the abdominals. You can see visible definition on the obliques in particular. Those are the ab muscles to the side. He doesn't have great ab insertions, but you can clearly see definition enough to see the obliques. And the quads, clearly the quad on the left side as I'm looking, bigger than the quad on the right. Perhaps he had an injury, we don't know. One muscle bigger than the other. In particular, I notice as soon as I see this, biceps. The guy clearly is training his arms. Definitely his best body part, perhaps better than the calves. Very round shoulders. If you look at his front double bicep, you can see a mountain on the shoulder and another mountain or peak on the bicep. You can see peak bicep, peak deltoid. Have a look. That is what you're looking for when doing a front double bicep. And old photos appears to like a lot of drinking. Perhaps that led to his weight gain. Smiling harder than last time, but not as hard as he is now. Now that I believe 17% body fat, only 2 points below his expected result. And although he had 40% plus body fat, clearly guy's active. He's out with a surfboard at the beach, getting around, having fun, doing things. And so just because you're not 15% body fat or at your ideal healthy zone doesn't mean you can't be active. So props to him. He's lost 70 pounds, looking fantastic. Up next, a diamond in the rough, Rachel Schmidt. This girl's only been training for 1 year and she's 22 years of age. This girl is 5'3" and 1/2 inches tall. Don't want to forget about that half inch when you're under 5'4". And only 108 pounds, but look at this physique. Back double bicep, posed all wrong, squunched all back together. However, you can clearly see this girl is very, very lean. When you can see that amount of back definition, even when posing improperly, that means very lean. She guessed 22% body fat. Let's see how close to that she is. And immediately you notice the girl's got some back, some glutes, some booty. And we're getting almost a little bit more than we bargained for. Hopefully YouTube doesn't bleep this out. She's got 1 foot back. However, it's not really back. It's more so to the side. When you're trying to show off your hamstring and calves, your foot should be placed behind your body. Look at her right foot and her left. Notice the toe is placed in front of where her heel is. This should be at least 1 foot back. That allows you to properly engage your hamstrings. It does allow her to properly flex her calves, but it's preventing her from showing off her hamstring to her utmost capability. And from the front, a twisting front double bicep pose. Very aesthetic looking pose. However, she just needs more muscle, but give her time. She's only been training for 1 year natural. You can't expect her to have bulging biceps with only 1 year of training as a 22-year-old natural female. I really like this pose. It's properly showing off her quads. You can see some lines in the legs. Looking really good. Does have, in fact, very good quadricep development. And the small waist clearly has abs And biceps, but rather small, just needs more time to pack on more muscle mass. And standing relaxed from the rear, all I can see is in fact her rear. Very well developed glutes. She's not even arching. And standing relaxed from the front, you can see, girl's very lean, has great physique, looks like a future bikini competitor to me. And overall body fat percentage, I do believe she's in the 21 to 22% range. I think she's accurately assessed her body fat. And so you don't need to be this lean to be healthy, but she certainly does look very athletic. Simply needs more muscle with more years of training, going to do excellent as a bikini competitor in the future. I would strongly suggest she doesn't diet anymore, doesn't try to lose any more weight. I don't think that if you main gain from too lean a physique that you can put on as much muscle as if you're in a healthy body fat percentage. For women, I often suggest 25% body fat. For men, 15%, and so she's clearly below 25%. I see no reason for her to keep dieting at this point.
Next time on Coach Greg.
He clearly could diet down, compete in classic physique. Bicep pulls out a bit too far. I would like to see hands get closer to the ears. Would make him look better. We're not really judging the back so much in a bikini. Pretty much from the rear, it's, do you have great glutes or not?